Hey everyone, Ben here in the process of testing AMS 2 version 1.5. Now I've decided not to rush to judgment and instead focus on enjoying some races, and this one is a Mets virtual racing community race I joined in the Copa Classics B at Broca, and it was great fun. We are straight underway then, bombing down into T1. This is a 15-minute sprint race with a mandatory stop. We're in the Chevrolet Chevette. Now this was very much an arrive and drive for me, so I'm learning the car and the track as we go here, and you can see it's a really congested track at the moment. We've got cars heading off onto the grass there and more collisions up ahead. Proper door banging, tin top action here, and just the kind of action you can really only get on AMS 2 with its Brazilian content. And I've got to say, first impressions both of version 1.5 but also of this car class are pretty positive. These cars feel very well balanced, and it's good fun wrestling them through corners. But what wasn't good fun for a couple of drivers here on the opening lap was some of the contact as we headed through T2 and 3, and you can see it's a minor miracle that there wasn't a much bigger accident there, but thankfully pretty much everybody got away with it, and the field as we head on to lap 2 started to spread out just a little bit. We are challenging Xamph up ahead. We've managed to make up a few places off the start, and you can see I've got a much better run heading towards the left-hander. He's covering off the inside, so I'm going to have a heroic attempt to get around the outside here. This is going to be really tough, and you can see I'm wrestling with the car and I make a fatal mistake to shift down there. That was not the thing that the car wanted me to do, and look behind me in the rear view mirror, Timmy Turbo in his Mini is closing right in here. I'm going to hold the inside. He's not going to have the power to get around the outside, and that means I'm going to be able to hold on to P9, but I went from challenging for P8 there, and just a mistake getting used to this car nearly ended up costing me a position. So I mentioned this is the Mets virtual racing community. It's actually part of a mini championship in the series that they ran last week. Paul, who runs the community, streams very regularly on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description. If you're into AMS2 and online racing, you should definitely get involved. And the kind of fighting that we're seeing at the front was pretty typical of what was a very, very close race. You can see me just in the background of this pack as cars are peeling off into the pit lane for their mandatory stop. I'm trying to hold on to this clutch of front-running cars as we were progressing up through the top 10. As we rejoin the live action on lap 6, we've made our way up into P4, but I've decided now that we're past the halfway point of the race. I'm going to dive into the pits. Now this is a mandatory stop. I've got to change tyres. What I didn't realise was you could get away with just changing one tyre. I changed all of my tyres. That cost me at least 10-15 seconds in the pits, so I'm going to fall all the way down the grid here. I also didn't realise I could shift up there and still remain under the pit limit, so I'm costing myself time again. A cautionary note there on arriving and driving when you don't really know how the car works. So we're down into P15 as we get on to lap 7, and I'm trying to close in on Aaron up ahead, and actually we're reeling him in at quite a good rate here as we get into the braking zone onto the left hand, and you can see he's lost the back end slightly. He manages to gather it up, but he does get onto the grass verge. I'm going to give him extra space as he's rejoining the track there, but I'm able to get past, and that's me up into P14. There's only 4 minutes left of this race, so barring other cars coming in for a late pit stop, and we are going to see some of that as we get on to lap 9. We're still in P13, but look up ahead. We've got two drivers fighting for position. That's Dud and Davison in the Mini. I'm going to catch the pair of these cars coming into the final corner. I'm carrying way more momentum as they've clearly been fighting as we get onto the start-finish straight, but Davison is going to peel into the pits, so that is another position gained. We fast forward onto the final lap. We're running in P9 now as everybody has made their stop, and we are right hot on the heels of Dud up ahead. And actually, if you look at the standings, Gibson up in 6th place has got a 10-second penalty to spend, so actually we could be fighting for P7 here if I can get past Dud on what remains of this race. It's going to be very, very challenging because we're running quite even pace here, but can I apply the pressure and hopefully force a mistake. We're through the left-hander here then. You can see he's just wrestling with the weight transfer in the car. He's ran it out wide. He actually might get a better exit from the corner than I have though. So it's just going to be about being patient here, but also spotting any opportunity that arrives. These cars aren't all that powerful. Very often it feels like the engine is climbing a set of stairs with heavy shopping. You just want it to kind of go faster than it's possible to do so in these cars. But we're going to drift through the left-hander here, and we are slowly but surely closing in here as the leaders have crossed the finish line. Dan Lewis took the checkered flag. He would ultimately go on to win this mini championship. We're through the final corner here, then Dud gets it wide. He has made a mistake. He spins right across in front of us, but thankfully I was just able to dab the brakes, get through, and a dramatic conclusion to the race sees me come home in P7. Wow, my heart was in my mouth there as we just managed to avoid the spinning Dud. Hard lines there as he just got up on the curbs with a matter of meters to go in the race. We were able to take the position, and Dud unfortunately would lose out on a top 10 finish. But look, really enjoyable race this. I can definitely recommend getting involved with the Mets virtual racing community, and I've got to say so far I'm enjoying version 1.5. I'm going to be doing more content from AMS2 over the coming weeks, so if you want to see that, get subscribed to the channel and I will see you on the next one.